And welcome back. And we're moving into our second conversation for today as we commemorate International Day of the Youth. And joining us on set, we have Dominique Noralez, who is a youth officer for the Department of Youth Services. We have Andrew Munnings, who is a Carom youth ambassador, and Miriam Rivero, who is another youth officer at the Department of Youth Services. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
Wow, it's young people. You guys have to sound more energetic than that. Seriously, you know, like we are on the end stage of youth. You guys have to show what it's like at the beginning stage, right? So let's try this again. Good morning and welcome, guys.
Good morning.
Thank you.
There you go.
Thank you.
I swear, man. The energy is excellent, and that's one of the things that we look forward to, especially on a Friday. Then again, it's a fun Friday. But youth ambassadors, youth officers, what is it like working with youths?
A huge responsibility.
Why is that?
Because I've realized throughout this journey that you no longer talk for yourself. You now represent 70% of Belize, and whatever comes out of your mouth can either make or break somebody. You might not know, but there is somebody looking at you as a leader. So whatsoever you say, whatsoever you do, it is critical to some young person.
I have to agree. Being a person working with young people and being an advocate for young people is a huge responsibility because there are certain things you can't do.
Exactly.
Certain ways you can't act. You know, you have to always carry yourself, no matter the fun you're having. There's always a way to carry yourself because someone's watching you. Especially for youth ambassadors and people in national youth councils, you can't be rowdy and raunchy. You have to always carry yourself with a certain prowess, you know.
That's such a surprising start for the conversation because I never thought of that before. I thought, you know, people would probably be a bit more forgiving because you are youth.
No.
But no, it's fine. You know, I think once you have, if you're an ambassador, you are representative of other people, and they do look up to you for perhaps the positive things that you do in your life. Now, obviously, keeping a proper balance in terms of how you carry yourself, how you represent yourself, the things you say, especially when you're speaking on behalf of youth, is obviously a big responsibility. So my question to you is, why take it on? Why become a spokesperson for young people, an advocate for young people, especially when it means that there's a particular sacrifice that you take as well?
I think for where we could go.
Let's start, Miriam.
Personally, for me, despite all the responsibility that comes with, I also like, you know, that you are able to help people. You are able to be there to guide them. Like, you know, since you are, you know, probably you went through something similar and you can help out. You know, I look at the positives.
Yeah.
How can I be there to support, to be a foundation? So that's why I take on the responsibility.
You know, for young people who are advocating for young people, and I'm so glad for the fact that you guys are cognizant that, you know what, we are being looked upon. We speak for 70% of our population. Don't you guys feel like it takes away from your youth?
Actually,
Dominique.
You
could go ahead.
I don't think it does. I think it adds and it helps you transition a lot into being a professional. I don't see it as something that takes away, because if you see it as something that takes away, then why do it?
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know, it's nothing. If something doesn't add to your life, adds value, then you shouldn't be doing it.
You know, I always ask myself that same thing. I like other young people, they do this, they do that, and I can't do it. Why watch it? This not worth it, you know. But when you really think about it, at the end of the day, where you are right now, when you are young, that's the place you want to in the future anyway. But your journey just start earlier.
Yeah.
But along this journey, I've learned to not take everything serious. Have fun at the end of the day still, because as young people, you don't want to lose that, because the best thing we have right now is our youth.
Yeah.
And if we just take everything serious, make up with face, they go through life and all of those stuff, you miss out on a lot of stuff.
Yeah. No, I like what you're saying, because it is a balance. I
Yeah.
know that you all have fun.
Of
It's
course.
just doing so, keeping in mind the responsibilities that you have and the messages that you promote. In other words, if you are speaking about whatever issue there is, you can't necessarily go out and do what you're speaking out against. But let me bring it back to this 70% of the population, because right now people are watching and saying 70%.
70%.
What is? Where do you get these numbers? And it starts off with the definition of who is a youth.
Exactly.
So let's start there.
Well, a youth is anybody between the age of 14 to 29. So it's a little bit less than 70%.
Okay.
So 14 to 29 is the definition for youth in Belize.
Oh, we use 29 in Belize.
Yeah,
Don't some countries use like 35? and older?
Malaysia uses it goes up to 40 in Malaysia, but we're not Malaysia. I know the UN is 18 to 29, so there's different definitions. But here in Belize it's 14 to 29. So it's a little less than 70%. If you go 0 to 29, then it's definitely that large bracket. So it's about higher 50, lower 60 percentage. So yeah, that's the definition for youth.
So let me ask you this. It's International Youth Day, and this is really an opportunity just to get feedback from you guys as to what the issues are, what concerns you, what do you think of when you wake up in the morning, or you drive around the country, or pay attention to the news, or do you watch the news? You know, all of these things, I think, as older persons in society make decisions, or decision makers sit and get engaged, they think of people like themselves. But when you are between that particular bracket, 14 to 29, your priorities are a lot different. So let's talk about the issues that are really on the minds of young people today.
Well, International Youth Day 2017 is focused on youth building peace. And International Youth Day is always the 12th of August. That is one day where the United Nations say, you know what, it's time to remind the public of that important stage of youth. What is important to us as young people. So this year we are focusing on peace, and like what you said this morning, vacation is all about the peace as well. So when young people like us come and we sit here, if we are not working along with the government, if we are not working with the media, if we are not working with school, peace can never happen. And if we want to make the sustainable development goal successful, you have to bring in peace. Because if we don't unite, if we don't come together as a country and even as a world, none of those goals can be met. So 2017 is being celebrated with the 16th goal under the sustainable development.
And for you, Dominique?
For me, the issues surrounding young people, a lot of it has or stems from not involving young people in the conversation from the beginning. Very often policies are made. Yes, there are some consultations. Yes, that's great. But a lot of the things you are given and then you're told to give me feedback. It's never from you, and then we formulate something and then give it back to you. You know. So a lot of the issues stem from not involving young people across sectors. It cuts across all sectors. I was having a discussion yesterday with some of my colleagues from the Caribbean, and a lot of their frustrations come from policies not being integral of the youth and not looking at the sustainable and the proactive and the long-term involvement of young people, because we will be the ones leading the country
of course
in a couple of years. So it's good to involve us now, so when we get to that situation, to those positions, we will not be learning as we're going on. We already know what's happening. And so that's some of the huger problems for young people.
For me, it would be a lot of youths don't know where they fit in. You know, what can they access? What can they use to grow? And you know, I guess that's why you have the Department of Youth Service. We have a lot of resources there. You know, we have a lot of options. You could go and get help with school, with jobs, with a whole bunch of different units within the department. So.
Now, I think one of the things that we usually hear from young people is talking about the lack of engagement, and I think that is key.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there are two assumptions that are made. One, that bringing in young people at the end to vet and say, well, we spoke with young people, which is a level of participation. We always talk about
Very
the ladder,
low.
but it's
Very
very
low
low. It's not the ideal.
Yeah.
And also, there's an assumption made oftentimes by policymakers that young people aren't engaged in the issues in the first place. So if I assume that all young people are caught up on Snapchat and Kardashians and whatever show is hot right now, or social media, then I will think they don't really care about whatever policy I'm working
you
on.
don't assume and you ask us.
There you go. So because that's why I said, how engaged are we? Are you with the issues?
And that's a great point. I am all for youth development, but I also come to the point and I also make it clear to young people as well. You have to stop waiting. You have to stop waiting and say, you know what, please, we ready for the call. We ready for work now.
Yeah.
No, we have to make things happen. We are about 60 to 70. we don't have to wait.
Yeah.
We could just go and go. And I always tell young people, if everything we say is on Snapchat, is on Facebook, and we don't rally for it, nothing will happen. You can't expect people to take you serious if we don't take ourselves serious at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm noticing? Oh, Dominique,
Yeah.
you're filling in? What I'm noticing here is that you guys are engaged, right? You guys are engaged into this. But the thing about it, who got you in there? Was it because you were aggressive enough to eventually get in? Or somebody seeked you out and said, you know what, Dominique and you guys, you will eventually be
That's
a
a
part
good
of the youth
question.
services. Now, the reason why I'm saying this is because we're saying that the youths are not engaged, and you know, they're not being asked the question, if how are you, and but you guys are there. So are we saying as well that the youths are actually dragging their foot, or they're waiting for somebody to put them in? Or should they be aggressive to it? Dominique?
Don't worry, Dominique. We're asking questions to get the conversation.
Exactly.
This is the reason why we
We're
have these
not
conversations, right?
right?
But feel free to jump in.
I will never feel that young people do not want to be involved. The people who change the world are always people in the youth bracket, no matter where you come from.
Yeah.
If you talk about Marley Mahatma, the biggest people in the world were youth when they changed the world. They made a huge impact. So I will never say that young people are always waiting for somebody to hand something to them. No, I don't think that is ever true. Everybody gets engaged at different places. Like Mr. Munnings said, some of us do it earlier.
Yeah.
But everybody's involved. If you're doing music and you're doing advocacy through your music or art, if you were a future politician like myself, some of us just do it differently. We're all engaged at different levels.
Well,
But
and
it's a matter of coordinating that involvement and engagement.
And that's what I was going to ask, because I think in terms of your perspective, there are a number of national issues that become important over time, and we get comments or feedback from many different sectors. You hear from the private sector, you hear from the unions. We don't always hear from the youth. And when we're talking about issues that affect our country. So what do you think is really the best way to be able to get the perspective of young people on issues that affect the country and obviously have a direct consequence for you as such a large part of the population? So whether we're talking crime or minimum wage or tourism development, you know, whatever aspect that we're talking about, what do you think is the best way to really understand what the perspective is from the young people?
I think young people are already talking about some of these stuff. Like what Dominique said just now, and I want to make this clear. Not because you know they sit down in an office means you know they do nothing. You have a lot of ways where young people, they create change right now. It can be through music, through arts, through all of these stuff. And when it comes to young people, well, a lot of we don't like just sit on a forum and write this and write that. You can't get everybody on that. You have to use the medium young people love in order to get forward to young people. And when it starts with the media as well, social media and all of us, if we use those platforms where young people use every day, Instagram, Snapchat and all of these stuff, if we incorporate change through those, if we incorporate policies through all of those stuff, we definitely can be on a rise.
Any other perspective?
I think too, what needs to happen, funding is always an issue.
Exactly.
It's always an issue. So, and the argument can be made that, yes, a lot of money is not allocated specifically to the youth budget, but in other sectors there's health and young people are affected by that as well. But if you don't fund youth organizations at least a little, or train them how to garner their own funds, then it's kind of pointless, because then you need money to do things.
Exactly.
It's a fact of life. You need money. If you don't have money, you can't do much. There are advocacy that you could do and get people to rally around your idea, but without funding, you can't do that. And it's not a huge part of our budget. I know that almost every year the budget remains stagnant or gets cut. So that is an issue in and of itself. So that's also a part of the youth problem. And you look, people say Belize is young, so we're learning, but that's an opportunity in and of itself. You have Caribbean nations around us who are flourishing in terms of youth, Jamaica, Trinidad, and you can look at them and really bring some practices here.
Exactly.
Well, I was going to say that, because even if you look in the Caribbean, and this is no targeted attack, I'm just saying that, you know, and we have spoken about it before, most of us here. It's the visibility of young people is not, I think, what it used to be. And if we look out in the Caribbean, if we look out within Central America, the young people have a voice. They carry a weight. You know, if they speak out on an issue, people listen. And so I want to ask you, in terms of your perspective as to how much you are being heard at this time. Do you feel like policymakers in this country are hearing you or listening to you?
Well, we are.
Let's have Miriam.
Miriam.
Miriam. No, you gotta be honest. I think it's important.
For me personally, I would say not really, in my experience. Like, it's reaching to that point where it's starting to get like they're noticing youths more. But for me, it's still not at the stage I would like it to be. But with time, you know, progress to happen.
And it starts right here as well. Right here as well, you know. I would never say we are at that point where we are good.
We're not there.
When you look at other Caribbean countries, just simple example. When you go to a youth forum, I mean, people dress not half. Just like you, John. Blade right half, right? And not only within those platforms where you gather, but when you watch young people walk on the street, I mean, suit up and all of these stuff, 12-year-old and all of these things. I'm not trying to compare, but I am just trying.
But how they look is one thing. How much do they listen to them? That's my question. How much are you heard? If you wear a t-shirt and jeans and you come to the table and say this is what is a priority for young people, or you wear a suit, how much are you being listened to?
Exactly. And for example, Venezuela right now, when young people snap their finger, they have to move. These young people shut down school and they are telling the government, here it is, we want better. And that is where it starts. Young people in Belize, we have to understand that we don't have to wait no more. We don't have to wait. We can get it now.
So let me ask you, what I'm hearing is that you don't feel it's sufficient, right? There's an attempt, but it's not sufficient.
It's not.
So how do you think we can change that? Let's get Dominique now. How do you think we can change that?
I think young people in this country, I say I get into my career,
That's fine.
Yeah,
We all talk.
young people in this country there are young people doing amazing things.
Yes.
We looked at, for example, applications for a youth conference. There are young people with amazing qualifications in this country who we don't know about.
Exactly.
So where some of us are educated, we're still not at the level where we need to be, but where there are young people who have potential. But when it comes to changing it, if you come back home and there's no opportunity for you, then you will leave, and you leave with all of your potential. When it comes to policy and getting back to your previous question, policy, I think some of our policies are cut and paste, I believe. It's not catered to Belizean young people. Some of them involve us. I recently spoke to an official from the Ministry of Human Development, that very long mega ministry.
Yes. We know which one.
And I was talking about, is there anything for refugees or emancipated children, children of immigrants? Is there anything for them? Because I haven't seen it, and that's a personal passion of mine, because I have many friends whose parents are immigrants. My family, my great-grandparents weren't from Belize. So my family has been in this country for 3 generations now. So that's something close to me. When it comes to our youth policy, I have been informed will be amended or looked at again next year, because it's about that time. It's been 5 years, 2012, 2017. So early next year, they'll be looking at it. And I hope that it has even more youth consultation and involving young people, and really, no matter what you wear, no matter if you come for Gungulung, if you come for Caribbean shores, you know that my voice is in it. When it comes to violence, when it comes to my education, when it comes to economics, you have to, and it's more than inviting a young person, because for me, I'm invited to many meetings.
But how seriously do they take you when you show up?
I think I don't often dress snazzy, like Mr. Munnings would say, because I like to be comfortable. And you are not, to be honest, in some places you are not taking seriously when you walk into the room. I'm like, what is young girl there, you know? But when it is when you speak that they understand, oh, she knows she the top about, you know? So you have to, in many circles, earn your respect. It's not given to you immediately. So you don't start the 100, you start at 0. Because, I don't know, you just come in at this and what they can't tell you, you know? I have had some hard talks with some CEOs, but that's okay. I think it's a matter of them knowing that young people aren't incompetent.
Like you mentioned the word incompetent. It boils down to me now with education and your educational background and how far you are. As youth who are actually out there advocating for youth, and we know what the problems are, let's jump on into the educational aspect of this thing. Are we getting enough as a youth when it comes to education? And is it sufficient? Are we able to get that reach that we want? And if not, then how do we do this? And as youths, how do we advocate for it and make sure that it is a stronghold?
It's a very strong question. First of all, many of our schools in this country aren't state-owned, they're church-owned, so that's a problem. Not bashing the church here, just saying. Most of our schools, just for the record. So getting into school sometimes may be difficult for that reason. A lot of focus is being put on early childhood development. A lot of work is being done in primary and secondary, but there's a lack at tertiary level. I don't think there's enough data to have us know where we are in terms of tertiary institutions, and I don't think that should be true, because we have a national university. So you should be tracking how well all the tertiary institutions are doing in your country, and especially comparing your national university to how good those other entities are. We don't have an education policy, so there's nothing to check and balance and know what young people need at different stages. There's nothing to say, okay, this is what a young person deserves. I know there's an age, I think it's 16 where you have to be in school. I think it's 14 or 16, one of
mandated to 14.
So
which is
those are
primary
little,
school.
those are exactly. So those are little things that are there, but there needs to be more. Education for me, I don't have my first degree yet. So for me, that was a huge thing.
Yeah.
I only graduated from high school, but another thing, you should be really, the world looks at it that your degree determines your, but I don't feel that keeps me back from all the work I do and with all the capacity I have built over the years. But there is a need to further education. I don't really feel that our education system needs to be strengthened. Can I leave it at that?
You know, and I think, Dominique, what you are saying, and it's important because when we spoke about who gets to speak out, and, you know, I think John was pointing out that people see young people as on an educational journey and measure how far they are based on that. But if we listen to how eloquent you are and how intelligent you are and how great you have an understanding of the issues, you know, it shows that it goes beyond what you're learning within the school system. It is the experience within society that teaches us the most. Now, I wanna challenge you on a point here, because I think if I am to go back to even before I graduated from high school, a lot of the persons who traveled abroad and went to school and got great educations decided not to come back home. And when I speak with them, I do understand. I mean, it's a bittersweet moment. Yes, you want to develop the country, but you have worked so hard to be able to get to a certain professional level.
Yeah.
And sometimes the better opportunities are outside. Yeah. Are you finding the same within your generation, that some of our brightest minds are really just looking for a way to get out?
Well, personally, with my experience, just recently I graduated from SJC, and I have some of my friends who graduated with me. And for me personally, a lot of them don't want to come back because they don't feel like if they come back, how can they bring change if the country is not ready? How can they make a difference if they don't have the resources or all the whatever they need? It's not here, or people just, they aren't ready for it. So they prefer to stay out.
And my question to you again is, because when I was growing up, I want to go to the States. I want to make this amount of money. I want to do this. But at the end of the day, let's be real now, right? We could talk about education. We could talk about human development. We could talk about everything today. And the absolute truth is, we are not where we want to be as young people. We are not where we want to be. And that is the flat out truth. But this is where the conversation starts. Because if I go there and I tell 100 young persons for sure, let's rally for this. Everything is being said on Facebook, everything, but we have to come in person. We have to be real with each other at the end of the day. And most of our bright minds, yes, you could say they're in other countries, but they are still here at home as well. A lot of us is still here. So you could wait for your country done change, or you could help change your country from here.
But that comes with a sacrifice as well.
Because exactly.
If I come with
but it is going to worth it. It is going to worth it.
Let me get here. I'll give you a chance, Dominique, and it's fine. I love that we have opposing opinions on this because it is a very touchy issue, and that's how it is in the wider society. But you said something so important, Miriam. I think it's going to stay with me for a while, that they want to come back to change the country, but they don't think the country is ready to change. That is, I mean, like I said, that is going to stay with me for a while. It's a sobering thought. And Andrew, I do acknowledge your point. Yes, people like yourselves have decided to stay and commit. But I want to give Dominique a say here, because she obviously has an opposite. She's saying it comes with sacrifice.
I think if you come back home, if I have a degree in biochemical engineering, sir, where will I work in this country?
I am not saying you come back home and settle down.
No.
I am not saying come home and settle.
Let's get a different perspective.
Go ahead.
I think also, for me, I have also, like Mr. Munnings, made the decision that I will stay at home. My potential, my brain, my spirit, my love will go to my country. till the day I die.
Yeah.
But I also know and have come to the realization at a very young age that I cannot grow in this country. I have to leave. So I have, and there, it's sad to say, there's a certain respect when you if I studied any tertiary level institution, it's not called a name, kind of one, nobody can get much. But
In Belize.
if I study in Belize
Alright.
and I get the same degree as somebody who went out, when I come back home,
To a
they will
no-name
be-
community
to a no-
college
and
outside Belize.
Yeah, and well, not really. If I go to any country, any school out of this country, and I come back, there is always a certain, you give that person more, what you call it, accolades, or you give her more respect because that person left Belize and then gone to somewhere else,
Yeah.
and, you know. So that too is a issue, that our cultural issue. I think it's something that a part of the issue, but it's a very small part. I think when people leave and come back, or if you stay here and study, there's almost always that look at, oh, I want to go with a foreign better than they want to stay here and study. For me, I know for me, I can't stay at Belize and grow to what I need to be. But I will always come back.
I respect anybody wake it up and say, you know what, I have to go. I respect anybody. I know the Bashokan or anything like that. My plan after I get my associate's degree is to go out and study. I'm not saying that I don't want my degree from Belize, but I think if I go outside, I will be exposed to a lot more.
Exposure is-
But
Exposure
what
is
I am saying at the end of the
major.
day, I don't want to come back home when everything done change. What if it never happened?
Yeah.
I want to be in that change. I want to be one of the reasons why in the next 10, 20 years, Belize is one of the greatest countries in the world.
Yeah.
I want to be that change. So you could tell me you want to go, you want to come back when everything done said, but when you come back, you would enjoy something where you would ever help create. We could do it from now.
I hear your point. No, but you know, I thank you. I appreciate honest, candid views and conversation. And this is what it is. You all have opinions.
Exactly.
And
And that's
views
okay. That's
and
okay.
experiences that we need to be reminded of sometimes. Now, somebody said something, and it stuck in my mind. It took me back to when there was the Chicky Bowl fundraiser, and I remember telling people, you know, a hashtag doesn't change the world.
Exactly.
You know, like I understand, change your profile picture, put up your support, but the hashtag does nothing. You got to get up and act.
Yeah.
Exactly.
True.
And I want to ask you about your motivations or how you think, because I think it's not just young people here. This is not a victimization of young people. We in Belizeans feel that way. It's like hashtag save Belize, hashtag, you know, stop
I want my
domestic
country
violence, hashtag I'm with you in whatever cause. But then you put together an event or you request funding or support in some way or the other. The hashtags are still there, but nothing came from it.
Yeah.
So it's not just young people, and I think sometimes we as adults are teaching you young people that. But what do you think? You are more action-oriented. You guys can barely sit here long enough to talk to us. That's just the dynamic of being a youth. What do you think needs to be done that you all can feel more motivated and inspired to take action, to see the changes that you want to see, that you have, in Dominique's words, say, sacrifice to be here, to be a part of the change? What do you think it'll take
What motivates
for you
me
to get
now,
all the other young people on board?
When I see young people out there, that motivate me. When I watch Dominique and Miriam at the department, that motivate me because that make I know that we did do something at the end of the day. Me, I don't like office. I'm not the type to sit down behind a desk all day and write and this. I can't do that. I want it on the field. I want it in neighborhoods. I want to be in school. I like show myself. Yes, I am a hype person, and I realize that if I don't want to create a policy, what I can do, I can bring in the young people. I can go there right there, bring 100, 500, 1,000 young people at the end of the day. But the question is, if I bring them together, what then do we fight for at the end of the day? What then do we fight for? And I think my motivation is giving young people something to believe in again, because the truth is, the American dream, we have a beautiful Belizean dream as well. And I want to help create that. And at the end of the day, I want my grandkids come and live that as well.
Sounds
Well, what motivates me is when I see an interest. I need to know you are interested, and then we could grow from that. We could find out how we could help you more. What, just to build you, but I need to see that interest.
Yeah.
Dominique.
My motivation, probably I sound very different from my colleagues and friends here. My motivation is always my neighborhood. What brings me joy all the time, I tell my friends, my very close friends all the time, when I walk past a basketball court and I see young men, they play basketball and they have fun and they play football, and I see young ladies on the, even if they're on the corner, they're in a yard and they plat somebody here, and people just, they live and be vibrant despite of whatever you go through. And one of my always favorite scenes that young men, they engage, and there's no fighting on the basketball court. There's no nobody they fight on the football field. That always my motivation. My motivation always come from my rice and beans. My rice and beans are my heart. I do everything I do for this country. So that's my motivation. My beliefs and my motivation.
So we're just going to take this one step further to close off the conversation for today. And that is, what would you want your generation to leave as your mark on this country?
That's deep. That's deep. I like that. That's deep.
I want us to be revolutionary. I want to see one day that, as big as these political rallies are at the foot of National Assembly and in the streets of Belize, when you say Wasia, whatever color it is, I want to see young people really show the persons who are our duty bearers that the actors are here to make a change. I want to see a huge revolution of young people, and that might not be very soon. But I am very, 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 very hopeful and optimistic that our young people will one day make those persons who are sometimes not our friends, because I learned very young that friends are not allies are not necessarily your friends. That we there and we there to stay, and you can't get rid of we. So that's what I want to say.
You know what is my greatest Belizean moment? 2005.
Right,
You know,
you about 6.
no, that was my greatest Belizean moment. When I watch the whole riot thing, I'm not talking about
Not the violence, the protest.
Exactly, the protests and all of those stuff. When I watch that and I compare that to other countries, I'm like, you know what? 2005 was the year when young people, when citizens said, you know what, why?
Enough is enough.
Enough is enough. And what, I'm not saying that I want our next riot happen. I want a revolution happen, just like what Dominique said. I want that time where young people could wake up and say, you know what, this stuff for we. You might not want to give way at the end of the day. You might not want to include it, but that's your thing. We will take it now because we come at the end of the day, and we have to understand as young people, we will have different opinions. But together, all of those differences can create the Belizean dream again.
For me, I agree with both of them. I do want to see not only the youth but also the country unite. But I also want to see pride. I want to see the people be proud of their country, you know, the ones who are outside to come back and share their knowledge and give back, and also the ones who are here to try and, you know, find resources, be there, advocate also, find a way they can help in some way or some means.
Okay. Well, thank you for being here, for being youth advocates and voices on behalf of other young people, for being outspoken and fearless. We appreciate it, and happy International Day of the Youth.
Happy International Youth Day.
Enjoy it. It goes fast.
Whoa.
Wow, that's comforting.
Motivation.
All right. right, we're gonna go ahead and take a break now, and when we come back, oh, we have a game. I'm sorry.
Yeah, there's
It's
a
Fun
game.
Friday, and I totally forgot that, and you guys have to join in the fun.
Okay.
So we're playing a word association game today, and you have to get your partner to guess these words by giving a one-word clue. One word, not one phrase.
Not one phrase.
One word, right?
Okay.
No gestures, no sentences, right? So you just flatly say one word. So who will be the one to have the answers?
I guess I could guess. Good.
You'll guess? Who's gonna, okay, so you need the
What do
girls
you
to
got?
guess. All right. So let's start off.
I don't watch it.
And all these things are connected to youth.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
All right, so let's start off with the first one.
Fun.
Something else.
No, you get one word.
One word for
Play.
fun.
No, you get one word. One word.
Fun.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sports. I don't know.
No.
Nope.
Keep on guessing. It's a quick game.
I don't know what fun. I don't know what fun give me. Sorry.
I don't know what part.
Okay, so fun was social
Social
media.
media.
All right, number two.
Wow.
Number two.
I have to use the same word again.
Oh,
You know you can't use that.
oh, you missed
you know
the
what?
first one.
I missed the first one. I thought the second one was the first one.
Okay, so now it's fun
Here we
again.
go.
Okay, fun.
Don't be scared to say some of the words you said
Party.
before. No,
No.
Sports.
no.
What you say? You said something.
Party.
Fun.
I can't help at all.
Raising.
No, you can't help.
You get your
can't-
one
you
word.
get
That's
one
what you
word.
get.
You need to give better words. though.
Okay, so we're gonna move
Next
on from
word.
this one. It's games.
Games, yes.
All right, number three.
Number 3 will be phew.
I show me the list. Those any word.
I want help.
I nearly said the word, you know.
Don't say the word. Okay. we need-
Athletic.
All right.
Alright,
Good.
good.
We got
Good.
one.
Analyst word.
Number
There you
four.
Okay. Easy.
Easy. Okay.
Screen.
Screen.
All right.
She
There you
watched
go.
your
Good,
eyes. She watched
good.
your eyes.
Number 5. That was good. Let's go.
Marlene.
Oh no! Please don't hear the word.
Marlene.
This is a
Man,
fun Friday.
beautiful. I don't know. Journalism, I don't know.
This isn't usually one they associate
Yeah,
with
yeah.
me.
Yeah.
It's fashion.
It's
Fashion.
All
Okay.
right. Number 6.
Next word. Reflection.
Miro.
Good
Yeah, there you go.
job.
Miriam.
All right. Number 7.
Okay. Elite.
No, man.
I get it. I get where you're going with
Yeah.
it.
Elite. Club. That's how I would think about club.
Okay.
Dancing.
Party.
There you go.
Number 8. No phrase.
No gestures.
Flat.
Flat.
No gestures either.
No
Flat.
gestures either.
Flat.
Flat.
Screen. TV.
There we go.
Good.
Wow. All right, we got 2 more.
Nicki Minaj.
Whoa. That way I'd be so mean for saying this now.
It's not me being to Nicki
Rap.
Minaj.
No.
What Nicki Minaj do? I don't.
So give me 2 more guesses. Pop, one more guess.
I say rap. I don't know.
Okay.
Celebrity.
Celebrity.
One more.
And the last one is
No gestures, Munnings. Follow the rules, Munnings.
What?
electronics.
Wow.
That very big,
Yeah.
but I appreciate the clue. Electronics. I don't know. Tablet, phone,
Laptop.
Close.
clothes.
Clothes.
to electronics. Yo, listen. I don't know.
You should laugh for it already. Exactly. One more.
One more. Electronic down.
I'll throw the
Just say
clue out.
whatever comes to mind.
Whatever comes to mind.
What is
One more clue. Tablet.
So we don't
That- no,
Okay, they said tablet already.
Yeah,
It's
they said,
technology.
but I wanted to
Yeah.
do another clue.
Technology.
These things are technology.
Okay.
Okay, well, you tried. I guess.
Well,
This does not
Miriam
come
is
with,
obviously much better. but
this
Mr.
does
Munnings-
not come with a grade.
I think
and
we
did
got
not
most of
keep
them.
score,
Yeah, you did.
right?
I think we got
So
most of
thank
them.
you all for trying, and of
Excellent.
course we just wanted to throw in some fun there. So thank you once again for being here. Happy International Day of the Youth. We hope you enjoy your day, and we keep on seeing and hearing from you.
And I invite everybody to stop by the Department of Youth Services today. We have our open day where we display all our services that we offer and also the work that our young people did throughout the summer. So
Yeah.
please stop by.
Belize City?
Yes, in Belize City. Yes, at our
I-
Regent
Street.
Yeah.
I have a big opportunity here for young people. Can I say it quick?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Young people, if you're hearing me right now, Core Company needs 700 employees in Belize. You need to have basic computer skills. You only need your high school diploma. You need to be fluent in English. You'll be getting training. It is $5 per hour starting. And if you reach 15 minutes early every day, you'll get more incentives on that. It is from Sunday to Thursdays or Tuesday to Saturday, 1 p.m. to 10 p.m. or Saturday to Sunday, 7 a.m. to 8 p.m.
All right. That's enough of the free advertising.
Okay, good.
There we go.
Good.
Thank you all. It's International Day of the Youth. Stop by the Youth Services Department. It is on Regent Street West
Street, yes.
and see what they're doing. And also, we as adults can always take the time to help them out as well. Thank you all for being here. We appreciate you. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, it's for Caribbean Motors, and they're going to tell us all about how they're celebrating their 10th anniversary. So stay tuned.